When I go up to the top of that building, one of the best parts for me is looking at the faces of my students. To go on to the 11th story of a building and then to still go 2 more floors up to the highest rooftop is an exhilarating feeling. You get a beautiful 360 view of the city, and the fact that we have our instruments up there, remote sensing different aspects of the atmosphere is just really awe-inspiring for these students and even for me. NASA Excite is an opportunity that universities around the country have to get instruments to study the Earth system. A huge aim of this project is also to get students involved, to train them as to how these instruments work, how to maintain them, how to look at the data, and how to visualize the data, and how to understand how the Earth system is working.
The atmosphere is everywhere. Everybody breathes in the atmosphere. Everybody has the ability to feel the impacts of, particularly what I study, ozone, or rather the precursors to ozone. And a lot of people don't know what those risks are because it is frankly a very new field. That's a big reason why we're doing this project. We're learning more about the seasonal patterns, the diurnal patterns of the precursors to ozone through Pandora.
There's a number of aspects of the weather system, dynamics, the atmosphere that we're trying to study with 3 different instruments on this rooftop. One of these instruments, Pandora, what it's allowing us to do is to monitor the concentrations of ozone at very good time resolution, meaning every hour or so we're getting measurements of how much of it is in the air above Tucson. In addition to that, we're measuring 2 precursor species leading to ozone formation. These are known as nitrogen dioxide and formaldehyde.
The sun photometer, it's a part of this network by NASA called the Aeronet. So it's a network of sun photometers around the globe actually, not only just US. What this does actually is tries to measure the amount of particles, aerosols in the air.
And so the way we can relate to aerosol particles is in the desert here, where I grew up, we have a lot of dust. That's a big component of the particulate matter in our sky. Other aspects of what we can measure with Aeronet is wildfire smoke, just traffic emissions.
Our part of the project is focused more on aerosol and thinking about dust and the role of dust in the North American monsoon and for the atmosphere over the Southwest. There are sort of interesting interactions between dust and rainfall, so we're also interested in the rain component of the project.
The third instrument is a rain tipping bucket instrument. So you can think of like a rain gauge, but we have 2 of them and they're very sophisticated, side by side. And so we can monitor how much rain falls during each rainstorm. And in a place like Tucson, this is a critical thing for us to monitor because we have not just wintertime storms, but the very important North American monsoon that rolls through. And there are large uncertainties with how this monsoon works.
I've gained technical skills, so programming and coding, it's a very important part of the research because I am translating one value that the instrument gives and I'm translating that into knowledge. The first part, academic, then technical skills, but also communication. The idea is not to understand only the values and what it means for the atmosphere, but also like how does that impact the people.
When it comes to working with instruments, this will be my first experience getting to understand how a GPM rain gauge works, and then also seeing column measurement of like Pandora, the sun photometer, which is the Aeronet. So it's kind of changes my perspective of the instruments, like not just seeing them, but also working with their data. So I would say it's a different perspective for me.
I have the opportunity to not only conduct science that is going to advance the field, it's going to have a really big impact on the residents of Tucson, but also it gives me the opportunity to learn skills and communication techniques that I can bring forward into my profession going on.